London Peace Conference on learning from aid delivery in Afghanistan 2 years on, hosted by the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association, an award-winning British charity which has become one of the most long-standing and longest-serving charities in the UK and inside Afghanistan. My name is Nooralhaq Nasimi and I'm a former government policy advisor to the Minister of Afghan Resettlement, Minister Victoria Atkins, and Minister for Refugees, and I'll be chairing today's event. 2 years ago today, the Taliban seized power in Afghanistan. And since then, the policies they have imposed on Afghanistan's population have resulted in a continuous, systematic, and shocking rescinding of multitude of human rights, including the right to an education, to work, freedoms of expression, assembly, and association. Consistent, credible reports by the UN and Western allies have shown summary executions and acts of that are tantamount to enforced disappearances, widespread arbitrary detention, torture, and ill treatment, as well as arbitrary displacement that have caused increased concern across different provinces. Despite reassurances by the Taliban, who are now the de facto authorities, that these restrictions might over time be rescinded, particularly in terms of, like I said, education, the facts on the ground have demonstrated very obviously an accelerated and a systematic segregation, marginalization, and persecution. In addition to the human rights element, we have a faltering economy, which has eroded livelihoods, drought-like conditions, and additional climate shocks that have put the social, economic, and cultural rights of the people of Afghanistan under pressure and caused a heightened need for humanitarian assistance. An estimated 16 million children in Afghanistan are not receiving basic food or healthcare essential to their well-being and development. And this economic downturn drives harmful, discriminatory, oppressive, and violent practices such as forced and child marriage, abuse, and economic and sexual exploitation, the sale of children and body organs, forced child labor, trafficking, and unsafe migration. So to look at the Taliban's rule of Afghanistan since the 15th of August 2021 more closely, we have two extraordinary panels of experts that have joined us to address some of the issues that we have highlighted. But first, let me welcome Dr. Nooralhaq Nasimi, the director of the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association. He founded the ACAA in 2001 to support the integration of refugees in the UK. And since the fall of Kabul to the Taliban in August 2021, the charity has been critical to the UK's resettlement efforts and the integration of thousands of new Afghans to the UK. Last December, Dr. Nasimi was awarded an MBE by His Royal Highness, the King, for his services to the UK. Please come and provide us with your introductory comments. Thank you.
So, what can I say? I can only say thank you, Great Britain, the greatest nation in the world, for their hospitality, for the opportunities giving us as a migrants community to access opportunities as well as integrate ourselves into the mainstream services. Thank you to Vice Elwood, Member of Parliament, Michael, Professor at LSE, Keith, the former MP, Conservative MP, the Mayor of Hounslow, and the Councillor. And of course, thank you to everyone. And I can see Michael is sitting here. He was one of the best supporters of the organization during the crisis after the fall of Afghanistan. This small charity with the small resources becomes similar like Kabul airport. Hundreds of people were queuing from 5 a.m. and I was sleeping upstairs. I wasn't able to sleep because the people started queuing, and it was August. I couldn't close the window, and the window was open. But we managed to help and support thousands of refugees who needed some help and advice, how we can put them in touch with the British Embassy, with the MOD, with the Home Office, but at the same time, we supported thousands of new arrived people. Once again, thank you to the British Society for evacuating 28,000 people from Afghanistan in August 2021. Great Britain was the first country in the world which acted immediately and promptly to save the life of thousands at the Kabul airport in August 2021. But of course, the challenges they face in the UK, which is very normal because the Ukrainian crisis started after just a few months, after 6 months. And then the Home Office as well as the local authorities found it very difficult to find the right accommodation because the number of families, the Afghanistan family is very huge, small, big families. But I think that by the end of August, which was the plan of the Home Office, 98% of the evacuees now moved to accommodation. There are just a small percent. Hopefully by the end of this month, they will find accommodation for them. I'm not going to speak too much about politics because we have great speakers, great panel here. But of course, what I can say, the only things I would like to say, I would urge Great Britain to continue supporting the people of Afghanistan and fulfill their moral obligations to the people who sacrificed for 45 years after the Soviet invasion in 1999. Today, when I see so many devastation in Afghanistan, so many problems, which of course we can only blame the Russian invasion in 1979. And the cause for this devastation and continuing war and conflict in Afghanistan, of course, it was the former Soviet invasion, in 1979. And I hope we will have a great evening. And I would like to ask the moderator to come back to the microphone and organize the rest of the panel discussion. Thank you very much once again. Thank you for coming, and I hope we will do something to help the people of Afghanistan in the longer term. Thank you.